The Legend of the 100-Knot Bamboo. A long, long time ago, in a peaceful village in Vietnam, people believed that those who worked hard and lived kindly would always be rewarded. This is the story of a young man named An, a kind, honest, and hard-working boy. And the magical bamboo that changed his life forever. An was an orphan who lived simply, working from dawn till dusk. He was gentle and never complained, no matter how tired he was. One day, he was hired by a rich man in the village. A man who had lots of land, buffalo, and a beautiful daughter. The rich man said to An, "Work for me and I'll reward you well. If you're loyal for 3 full years, I will give you something very special." An did not expect riches or gold. But the daughter of the rich man was kind and gentle. She often brought him rice when he worked in the field and smiled softly at him. An began to hope, deep in his heart, that perhaps the reward might be her hand in marriage. So he worked, day after day, rain or shine, and plowed the fields, tended the animals, and fixed everything broken. 3 years passed. He never missed a day. One morning after the 3rd year, An stood before the rich man and said, "I have finished my 3 years of work, sir." The rich man stroked his beard and smirked. "So you have. Well then, I shall reward you, if you bring me a bamboo stalk with exactly 100 knots. An was puzzled. "Sir, 100 knots?" "Yes," the man laughed. "Only when you bring me a bamboo with exactly 100 segments will I consider your request." An realized the man had no intention of keeping his promise, but An did not argue or beg. He bowed politely and left. An walked through hills and forests searching for the perfect bamboo. Some had 80 knots, some had 110, but none were exact. Days turned into weeks. One afternoon, exhausted, An sat beside a stream and began to weep. His heart was heavy. But just then, a soft breeze brushed his cheek, and an old man in a brown robe appeared beside him. "Why do you cry, young man?" the elder asked. An wiped his tears and told him the story. The old man smiled warmly. "You are honest and true. I shall help you. Cut down 100 bamboo knots from any stalks you find. Lay them beside each other. When you are ready to join them, say the words, 'Stick together, stick together.' And when you want them to come apart, say, 'Come apart, come apart.'" Before An could thank him, the old man vanished into thin air like smoke in the wind, and followed the old man's instructions. He collected 100 knots of bamboo, some long, some short. Then he whispered, "Stick together, stick together." To his amazement, the knots flew up and connected one by one until they formed a tall, beautiful golden green bamboo stalk, exactly 100 knots long. It sparkled in the sunlight, almost glowing. An smiled, bowed to the forest, and began his journey home. When An returned to the village carrying the tall bamboo stalk, the people gasped. Children followed him, laughing and pointing. The rich man was preparing for a wedding, his daughter's wedding, but not to An. He had promised her to another man, someone rich and proud. When An entered the courtyard with the bamboo, the rich man laughed nervously. "Oh, you actually found it?" "Yes, Anne said calmly. "I brought what you asked for. Now, will you keep your promise?" The rich man scoffed. "I don't recall making such a promise." "You must be mistaken." People around began whispering. Some remembered the rich man's words 3 years ago, but the man ignored them and looked at him gently and said, "Very well then. Stick together. Stick together." Suddenly, the 100-knot bamboo flew through the air and wrapped tightly around the rich man, his arms, his legs, even his chest, until he couldn't move. His eyes widened in fear. "Help! Help me! I was wrong! Please, let me go!" Anne stepped forward and said kindly, "Will you now keep your promise?" "Yes, yes, I will," the rich man cried, and then said, "Come apart! Come apart!" The bamboo released the man gently, and he fell to the ground, gasping. The rich man, embarrassed and afraid, apologized in front of everyone. He turned to his daughter, who had been standing nearby, and said, "My child, I was wrong. If your heart is with Anne, then marry him." The young woman, who had always admired Anne for his kindness and hard work, smiled and nodded. She gently took Anne's hand. Their wedding was celebrated joyfully by the entire village. The bamboo stalk was placed at the entrance of the village as a symbol of truth and integrity. As for the rich man, he changed. He became more honest, treated people better, and learned to value goodness over wealth. Anne and his wife lived humbly, helping others and teaching their children the value of patience, honesty, and kindness. Moral of the story: this tale reminds us that honesty, hard work, and patience always lead to happiness. Even when others try to trick or hurt us, if we stay true to ourselves, good things will come. And sometimes even magic will lend a hand, but only to those with a kind heart.